Hey, what's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and it's that time again for me to check out your latest requests and recommendations for underground metal albums on Bandcamp. And hey, if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, then stick with me by hitting that subscribe button down below. Alright, kicking things off, somebody in the comments called this Typhus album their favorite new thrash metal. It's called Mass-Produced Perfection. So let's see if it lives up to the name. It's a Greek band. Love lots of bands out of Greece. Oh yeah. There you go. They got that kind of like technical sound. I like this album art too. Reminds me a little bit of like Vector sci-fi aesthetic. Higher pitched vocals. So that's going to be sort of an acquired taste for some people, I'm sure. Not always my thing, but these riffs, man. These riffs make me overlook it, because that's definitely not normally my thing. Yeah, it's almost like Judas Priest vocals with just super technically thrashy riffs. Not gonna lie, that's pretty sick. A little bit proggy too. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Let's see what else. Ooh, nice little drum intro here. Ooh. Man, these guitars are killer. Only €5 for the digital album too. Can't really go wrong there. Man, just cooking with those guitars. I'm pretty much speechless. Yeah, we're kicking things off on a very strong note today. Thank you for this recommendation. Holy cow. Yeah, I may have to pick this one up for sure. So y'all know me, I'm a guitar guy, probably first and foremost. The first thing I listen to is the riffs, and then the vocals. And yeah, again, like, the vocals aren't my usual kind of cup of tea, but I think I could get into this. Cool stuff again. Okay, I gotta move on. As much as I want to just like listen to this whole album now. That is Typhus with Mass-Produced Perfection. Alright, next up we've got Eriphion with Thanatographia? I think I'm saying that right. Also out of Greece. That was not planned. But kind of nice little coincidence there. I have covered Eriphion before. Very kind of raw sound. So I think I've covered Eriphion before, unless it was a different Eriphion. Got kind of a lo-fi feel going here. Trying to figure out oh, there's the vocals. Oh yeah, it's very lo-fi, like black metal instrumentation, but with more of a death metal approach. Vocals remind me a little bit of Portal. If you can even hear them, they're like so drowned out in the background, but it kind of makes it extra eerie. Oh, I like this little break here. Is that baby crying? Oh man. A little bit of like organ. Oh shoot, things just took kind of an avant-garde turn here. I like this part. I wasn't sure at first, but you're kind of selling me on this weirder stuff. Got a little bit of a groove to it too. A little bit sludgy. What else you got? Man, just like massive sounding atmosphere. Just so ugly and grim. Yeah, I dig. I wasn't sure at first, but this is just some raw, semi-experimental kind of stuff going on here that definitely has me intrigued. Very weird approach to all the instruments. Oh yeah, here, let's see those drums. This is more like a industrial noise kind of part here. Alright, well, if you're as intrigued as I am, again, that is Eriphion with Thanatographia. Alright, then we've got Malfested with Shallow Graves out of Belgium. Sound like we're going to get a more traditional death metal, black and death metal, baby. Yeah, death metal. Big ominous intro here. Kind of more old school death kind of touch on the vocals. Pretty solid production. Yeah, solid old school death metal album tells an epic tale about a great battle against an unstoppable evil force. Oh, I like the little mixed up dual vocals there with the kind of more black and raspy stuff. Big skeleton man is coming to get you. What else do we got? Yeah, definitely more straightforward than that last album. That's for sure. Very aggro. Loving the D beats on this one. Yeah, good times. Just good, got good energy. Thing sounds pretty good. Again, I like those dual vocals. Definitely, like, make the most of those moving forward for sure. I feel like the riffs are a little bit contrived. I like this part. It's more like atmospheric, kind of black metal-y part. So you could step up the originality factor a little bit, but that doesn't always have to be the biggest thing. Like, especially if you're just going for that old school death metal flair, you can make up with that with just intensity. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed with this. Good stuff. So again, that is Malfested with Shallow Graves. Alright, then we've got Raat, not the hair metal Rat, with Raison d'être, something like that. This is an Italian group. Probably horribly mispronounced that. Or, it's an Italian label. Hang on. Where are they from? Atmospheric, black metal, Italy. It says Italy. More of like post-black sound here. Like this cover. Very, very, like, at this point, traditional kind of looking atmospheric or post-black look. Atmosphere reminds me a little bit of Botanist again. Obviously it doesn't have the hammered dulcimer sound, but just something about the overall melodiousness of it. Very just hopeful, kind of naturistic sounding stuff. This is introspective music. Meditative black metal. It's funny to me how much hate this subgenre gets. It's like, how dare you not just toe the line and make the same music over and over again. Oh, this one's a little darker sounding. This little bass rumbly part on that part. That was redundant. Yeah, interesting. It's not a one-trick pony, too, so I give him respect for that. I feel like a lot... My being critical of this genre is generally that albums kind of sound sort of samey for some of the bands that aren't maybe as sort of good at it. And the whole album just sounds like exactly the same. And this is clearly not the case here. I wish I had more time to kind of really dig in. Wow, that jump there from... You go from... This storm, this that looks like this album cover. It's like an ocean storm to peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. If you all know that Ringo clip. Yeah, lots of good stuff here. This is also intriguing. It's the day of intriguing albums. But yeah, for the sake of time, I do need to move on, but just giving you a little taste of Raat with, however you pronounce this title. Check them out. Alright, then we've got a single from Arcaeon, Origin of Dreams. And I don't always do singles, but if I'm intrigued enough, I check it out. And yeah, this one definitely caught my attention. Just that kind of like genty Architects, not a little bit of Architect sound. More almost like Make Them Suffer, I guess I would say. Because they got the synth going on. And the singing's great. A little bit more like Periphery in that, I guess. Yeah, I guess Periphery is probably an even better comparison, because they've got that proggy element to it. Yeah, this is good shit. Track is Name Your Price too, by the way. Makes me want to just sit and listen to the whole thing again. But just want to give you a taste. I want to send you to their page to hopefully pick it up. But yeah, if you're into progressive metal and metalcore, and especially stuff again like Periphery, I'm getting almost goosebumps listening to this. Like, those riffs just sound fantastic. The production is solid. Like, this is the full package right here. There's no way these guys don't worship Periphery. Listen to that part. That's so Spencer right there. That transition right there in particular, to the that is 100% a Spencer move. Not that he invented that, but that particular inflection just... And no complaints here. If you're going to, you know, draw influence from other bands, it might as well be the best ones in the genre. But yeah, this sounds sick. So I'm gonna hit that follow button, which I have not yet, and I am looking forward to hearing a lot more from Arcaeon. Alright, another comments recommendation. We've got Castro Fate with this madness. Cataclysmic Awakenings. Look at this cover. This is just outrageous. Somebody got a little bit crazy in Photoshop. This was one of 3 bands from this artist that they recommended me. But I kind of just picked one out of a hat. Kind of like a lo-fi, thrashy thing going on here. A little bit of like Slayer in the vocals though. It reminds me a little bit of like Tom Araya. It's fun. Oh, whoa. Okay, I can tell these are all taken from like different recording sessions. So sound and production are totally different. This is more like death metal-y. Still with those thrashy riffs, though. This part's a little punky. Death punk. Just pounding drums. Yeah, each of these has like different sounding production. This sounds more like the first track. Yeah, this is all over the place. Moment of Cataclysm Saga. Is there any explanation of this? This started 13 years ago. Okay, I think this is like a collection of like a lot of different stuff. Yeah, see, and again, like the production on this one, totally different. Very heavy metal intro going into, again, heavier death metal-y stuff. Very bizarre. I gotta say, I'm a little bit put off by this $15 price tag on the digital album. I know you're getting 21 tracks, but for a smaller group, that strikes me as a little much, especially for a digital. But musically, it's fun. If you want a little bit of variety. But yeah, that is Castro Fate. Alright, so a lot of people have been talking about Machina in my comments, or Mechina. I never know how to pronounce the name exactly, which is a shame because they're from my old stomping grounds of Chicago. It's their new album, Siege. I have looked into these guys before. I was considering doing a full review, but it wasn't in the cards this time. Maybe later on, if there's enough demand for it. But there are a bunch of albums coming out on the same day. Yeah, January 1st pretty big release day. Like, we had this, we had the new Juan Bond, we had Anapest. Good day for underground metal listeners. But yeah, these guys are cool though. They're kind of like gent meets sort of like a little bit of industrial metal, lots of synth, very atmospheric. I'm trying to decide what I would compare it the most to. But they really do have a pretty kind of overall sound that's their own. But it just sounds huge. Like, I'd say even in comparison to previous albums, this sounds massive. Got the title track here. A little quieter intro. It's kind of like metalcore meets... There's this underground group called Neurotech that I'd kind of compare them to in a weird way. But yeah, they're just really amplified, electronic sounding atmosphere. Music you can definitely get lost in, but they got a couple longer tracks on this. Yeah, I want to investigate this a lot further. We got some female vocals on here. Big fan of that. Yeah, it's hard. This is another one of those albums that just seems like it's difficult to cover fully in this format. It seems like they're taking you on a pretty full journey. I feel like they kind of do concept albums too, if I recall. So there might be some sort of overarching story. But yeah, check these guys out because they're awesome, and I always look for an excuse to support my old Chicago bands. So, Machina, Siege. Alright, back to the bizarre. We've got I'm Fucking Delightful from Belted Sweater, which they described to me as like if Henry Rollins did vocals for, what was the group that he said? Oh, I'm forgetting now. But like an electronic group, basically. And it's weird. And then all the songs are based on humiliating grinder hookups. Which I was, at that point when I read that, I was like, okay, you got me. I'm sold. I love that album art. So yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, people could debate, is this metal? But I mean, to me, it's like, the vocals are harsh enough that it's at least metal adjacent. Femtop is the name of this song. I love it. We got Bliss. I love that album title too. Just I'm Fucking Delightful. Kind of like, it's an interesting fusion of chill with heavy. Because you got these really aggressive vocals, but he's produced them in such a way and mixed them in such a way with the larger instrumentation that it's just kind of like, I could still like meditate to this. It's like hypnotic. We got some piano here. You know, for all the silliness and the kind of shtick of it, there's some pretty impressive songwriting musicianship going on here. I'm pleasantly surprised. Like, this isn't a guy just like... Some people will, like, come up with a goofy concept and then they'll just sort of, like, spit out an album. Fart out an album, if you will. But this is not that. Like, I can tell there's a lot of care going into this. Some of this synth stuff reminds me of, like, The Cure. This is very interesting. Yeah, I'm intrigued. This has been an episode of very strange and intriguing music for a lot of this. Yeah, good, interesting idea. It's from Los Angeles, California. Again, this is Belted Sweater with I'm Fucking Delightful. Alright, y'all, I think that's plenty for today. Let me know down in the comments which thing was your favorite. Also, do you have other recommendations of things I should check out? But yeah, let's have a discussion in the comments. As always, I try to read every single one of them. And hey, stick around, because I have plenty of videos coming right after this one. I have a whole playlist of these best of Bandcamp videos, but also full album reviews of recent releases, album tier lists for bands, interviews with bands on the podcast, you name it, we've got it. So plenty of reasons to stick around and subscribe if you have not already. Check out my favorite albums of 2020 mailing list as well if you have not. Also support us on Patreon. But that'll do it for now. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.